reading. Let's see what comes through today when you click on this video, what it is you need to know for your highest good. We'll do a spread and I'll just walk you through it. Okay, so let's see. I can already feel a heavy heart. I'm talking to someone who's having or feeling a heavy heart. You're moving through a lot of, well, sludge, I guess. It can be karmic of nature, it can be ancestral. This feels deeper and longer than, I want to say, just this lifetime. Like this can be an ancient wound that you carry, or like the weight that you carry is ancient, in other words. I do have the 10 of Wands. Where did I have it? With the Ace of Cups, so it's all around, yeah, I guess matters of the heart. It seems like that's what's weighing down or causing the most burdens in brackets. Could even be stress, that you feel stressed out whenever an opportunity presents itself where you could fall in love or you could get your heart space stirred up in whatever shape or form. I'm hearing the word intimacy, so you may have a bit of fear of that, or you've already been working through it and it's just coming up in this spread, which would show that it's still active within you. But this is a core wound that can take a lot of time, especially if it's ancient and it's come from way before you incarnated in the vessel that you have come here. Like if this is, a common... Sometimes they send words that I swear to you, I've heard them before, but I can't. I heard like common determinator. More like if this has been a theme within your life. Again, this is a great time to book in for one session, because there we could find out where this even comes from. Is it a past life? Is it an alternate universe? Like, where is it playing out? Where is the root of this programming that is causing heaviness and weighing down? Because ultimately when we do clearing work during the sessions, when you work with me, it's to release what you're carrying around. So you have more lightness and more space, and it's not so congested and clogged with, again, what you've already experienced, but it's still like occupying space. So, that's an option. We do work with psychic surgeons as well, so it can feel like that, like you're literally under, like being operated on, although it's very gentle. It's a very gentle process. It goes very deep though, so you might nod out, but I'm just saying there's ways to work on this without having to feel like this, you're gonna have to carry this until the end of the days, I'm just gonna get a little bit more information, because you do have like legacy. I did hear the word legacy. Legacy can also be, having offspring with a person. Like, I just heard the word legacy and I'm seeing it in your spread. That's ultimately what is bound to happen, whether this is through working with me, through your own initiations. It's your heart that needs attention right now. Okay? your heart needs attention, like your heart maybe health-wise for perfectly fine, but energetically it's not, it's just having a bit of issues. And it seems to be weighing down on you. That's the only reason why I can pick up on it and can talk about it, because in the cards it's like screaming for attention. There's definitely some work you can do by yourself. I'm picking up on like mirror work, mirror magic, so that would speak of you talking to yourself and speaking to yourself through a mirror, which is ultimately a portal. And I'm getting a sense, a message that's coming through is to talk to yourself and talk yourself into being deserving of what you ultimately wish for and want, whether these are matters of the heart, whether this is in material form that may make you happy, you know. We're like multidimensional beings, we're full spectrum, we're here on a dense ass planet, like we're gonna want to make the most of what we have and what we can do here. And that does come with different levels. So matters of the heart can be material. You may have some wishes that want to get a dream car. Like ultimately, doesn't matter what it is, but that is like indicative right now when you come across this reading that you can help this along. If you're not ready to book in and go like deepest ass layer that you can, you don't have to. It's just an option. That's what I'm here for. That's what I love doing. There's ways for you to use practical day-to-day tips, and one that's coming through is to speak to yourself. Again, where this is in the mirror when you're getting ready, it's about, I heard it as talking yourself into believing that you deserve what your heart desires, because there's a lot of suppression there. I'm getting there's a lot of suppression on a heart level of, it could be your desires that you never admitted to yourself that you want certain things. Maybe that's why the material stuff came through, because some people that are spiritually inclined think it's wrong to want material things. Like your heart desires what your heart desires ultimately. So if something comes up and you suppress it, you're kind of like taking candy from a kid. You don't allow yourself to even experience what you want. So of course with time you're gonna feel burdened, you're not gonna feel happy, you're gonna feel weighed down, you're gonna even become bitter, and you get, feel angry when other people get what you think you want or what you deserve. Like that's where a lot of jealousy and envy stems from as well, as people with suppressed desires and suppressed needs that they cannot or haven't been able to admit to themselves that they want it, and then they see someone else have it and think putting them down, making them out as less than is going to make them feel better, when it doesn't. It just adds to the weight. So this is to just mirror back how important this work is and can be, and why it's also worth investing. Like you're investing in yourself. You're investing in yourself when you tune into these readings. You invest into yourself when you book in for reading, when you book in for sessions. I'm here to hold space, but this is ultimately the work that you choose to do for your own. It can be anything. It can be well-being, it can be your happiness, it can be a sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose. That also speaks to the heart, like when you wake up feeling fulfilled, when you wake up feeling like you have purpose, that also makes your heart flutter and makes it feel like it has purpose, or like a fulfilling relationship that adds to, helps along with your purpose and doesn't take you away from it. you have a sense of wilderness, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but there's strong Lilith energy coming through. So Lilith is a wild woman, but it can also be like, as a man, you can also have these traits. So I'm hearing you may have just been careless with your heart as well, and that's not to make you feel bad about it, but there's more like a sense of growth that is really happening on a heart level, and also your role as protector and gatekeeper of your own heart. Let me get a little bit more on that though, because I want them to finish that sentence. Yeah, it's like you've been gambling away with your most precious asset. And this again is not to make you feel bad, it's just being pointed out because it's active within your spread. So that also comes from, and that's why the mirror work was indicated, that if you don't feel like you deserve what you want and what you desire, you may just give it away to someone less than, or you already can feel, no, it's not going to make you happy, but at least it's something. This is where we settle, and that doesn't help with the Ten of Wands energy. That doesn't help with the heaviness and the burdens, because even if you think you're smart and you can suppress all of this and it won't come bite you in the ass, it will, like, sooner or later it will. There's only so long you can suppress something. This is the imagery of, a champagne bottle with the cork. And if pressure builds too much, it's gonna bust, it's gonna burst, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And I don't know how relevant this is still today, but I know, like, boomer generation, the midlife crisis is exactly that for a lot of people, is that they've suppressed so much of the desires and the needs until they hit 50, and then it all comes up, and then you already have like wife and children, or you have a husband and children, and everyone's affected by your inability to work through the sludge, work through what is weighing down heavy on your heart. And of course, that's why at the beginning, maybe I was saying, oh no, that wasn't actually this reading. That was the Patreon reading. So they are like crisscrossing. Because I did a reading today where I felt really numb, like I felt cut off from not only my emotions, but like my heart space. And for some reason I just got reminded for that, so that's definitely needs to be talked. That's definitely relevant here as well. That of course you can disassociate, you can cut yourself off from what you're feeling, but it won't make it go away. And this is also when you have feelings for someone and you have desires, or you have like you can't admit your feelings out of ego, pride, it's not gonna go away. It usually festers and becomes even stronger. So do you have a choice? Are you going to work through becoming courageous enough, or at least working on the thing here that's coming through is that there's a difficulty in admitting what you are feeling. That's where you even like suppressing it. There's a sense of not wanting to confront your own feelings, like not wanting to confront what you ultimately want from life. And I'm hearing it will bring about changes, and that can also scare a person. Having to admit yourself that you hate your job, or that you hate your family, or that you hate this or that, or even turn it around that you love someone that you never thought you'd fall in love with, or that you love, I don't know, a hobby that maybe others will think is really weird. And it brings up a lot of things. That's why I call it sludge. It brings up a lot of your limitations, and it can even bring up conditioning. Where have you been conditioned to believe this is right, this is wrong? So that's why I'm saying it's your heart is really intelligent in helping you along your path, and that's why it may need some assistance or just attention, your attention, like you're actually making it a priority to speak to your heart, listen to your heart, listen to what it has to say. And it's work. I do see that you have to, it does take work, but it's worth it, especially with what has come through already of like these instances of someone waiting until they're 50, 55, and then the lid busts open and everything unravels. You know, like all the hidden desires, all the unfulfilled wishes. Death, this sounds so dark, but death, I literally heard death is lurking around the corner, and it's more a reminder that we do have a limited time in this vessel. Of course, it's unlimited on other levels, but you do have one life in this vessel you're in, and this is something, I don't know if people tend to forget it. I don't think they do, because most of it, you know, there's so much about freaking anti-aging, but it's more on a soul level, like what you confront in the vessel you are now, you will ultimately either have to repeat again, or you can move on to something else. So in this case, if there's been lifetimes of you carrying around sludge and heaviness surrounding your heart space, this could look like never ending up with the person that you ultimately want and love, you know, settling. These are patterns that are very common and are repeated. That's why it also came through, can even be ancestral, that your maternal, your paternal line has a pattern where when it comes to love and relationships that you end up repeating. That's why I'm saying that the work I do offer is amazing there, because we can find out more information that you may not even be fully aware of, but we can get to the bottom of it. So again, in this case, it's more like, what do you want to do with the time that you have? Where do you want to invest? Where do you want to invest into? Are you gonna prioritize your heart's wishes and desire, or are you gonna keep suppressing them and then see, you know, what combusts down the line? And I know it sounds a bit like, well, those of you that know, who have been around, know what type of channel I am, you know, also somewhat of what who I work with and how they do not sugarcoat anything, you know. Because it is my intention as well with the readings that I do, that you ultimately align with the path that feels fulfilling and that reflects your highest timeline and your highest potential. I'm just gonna get a few more. I want to get a few cards on the Queen of Coins and Devil. Yeah, there's a fear here coming through of being ridiculed and humiliated for what it is that you want and wish for. That's also holding you back, because I'm seeing a stage. So I could be talking to someone who wants to be on stage or likes being on stage, like, or has a hidden talent as a performer, entertainer, or if it's not a stage, it can be symbolic for being in the public eye in some shape or form. But I'm seeing like the devil behind you. So again, I don't know if I'm talking to someone who's already, you know, fully in the game, and it's somewhat come to that point where you have to, or are being coerced, or are being given the opportunity to decide, you know, like selling your soul doesn't have to be a whole cult, like Illuminati type story. It can also happen in Billy I Joe down the street who just doesn't, who who gives his soul to corporate life, for example. I may have a wish of being a stand-up comedian and would be really good at it and even thrive in it if he had the guts to face his fears. And that's where, in this case, the fears are trumping what your heart is carrying, or what your heart, like, I'm getting that your heart's wishes and desires are becoming a whisper because you haven't prioritized them and you haven't allowed them to speak loudly, you haven't listened to them. You know, it's like a child, or you as well. Like, if I'd ignore you long enough, you would stop speaking to me. So that's how your heart is feeling. It's becoming a whisper. It doesn't really feel like it can talk to you anymore, and if it does talk, it just gets ignored. So the fears, in this case, the fear of humiliation, the fear of ridicule, can trump that easily because the desires and wishes are not loud enough, and then the self-belief that you are deserving of it isn't loud enough to trump the fears. So again, you've gotten a lot of information what you can do. There's multiple different options of what you can do to deal with this, salvage this, at least begin somewhere. But then also I'm hearing a lot of people fear change, and it just gets scary of like, okay, but if I do go down this path, what am I gonna have to leave behind? And I guess it's not for everyone. You know, again, I just have to talk about the work that I do offer, the one-on-one sessions. It's very clear to me who is ready for it, because I just get a message of you having booked in. Anyone that sends me a million questions is already showing me that there's hesitation. And that's okay. You know, like, I'm very clear on how my work speaks for itself and also draws in who is ready and who ultimately then also will get the most out of it. Because if you're hesitating, you might get confused, but it's a little bit more complicated than that, because especially with this spread, I am seeing that, like, if you suppress a lot of your desires, you get confused, because you may then be presented with exactly this, with what you need and want, and that can also be part of the hesitation of like feeling the call, feeling the pull, but afraid of the change. You know, it's exactly this, to actually bring it full circle. It's exactly this. But it's not just with sessions, this can be also, like as a general, when it comes to your life, when it comes exactly with you being presented an opportunity of exactly what you want and wish for, and then you go into freeze mode. So again, I'm just hearing you can start off with practical measures, with the mirror work, booking in for sessions, becoming a Patreon member where you get the transmissions that you need as well. So you can it can help tarot readings as well. If you come across the right readings, it can just help exactly with what has been suppressed and dug down, because that's why sometimes they can be very triggering, because it's exactly bringing up. And that's why I love doing one-on-one readings as well, and I do recommend booking in every now and then if you like watching tarot, because it does help with exactly what you personally, what is lurking within your subconscious. Not only as what I'm picking up as a general, as a collective message, but you as an individual. What is your individual plan, what is the blueprint, what is, I can read that, but I need your permission, and you gave permission when you book in. So I hope this is enough information for now to help you start somewhere. There's different options, I have mentioned them all. I have everything linked below, so you can just click on that. You have information on the sessions as well. You have enough information of what you need to have a clear yes or clear no, or the in between. If you're hesitating, just give it more time until it's a full yes. I'm not really going anywhere, at least not for the moment. So yeah, stick around. I'll be sticking around too, and we'll just see where it brings us.